Hello everyone, this is Miss Cromwell, and I am back, and we're going to be talking about place value in math. I'm just going over this homework, and then also for ELA, we're going to talk about comprehension. So we'll get to that in a few minutes. So I want to start out with place value, and what you see in front of you on the first day for homework is going to be your base 10 blocks. So before we get too in-depth, these giant ones that you're seeing, these are called cubes. And the students are learning that they're called cubes, and they're worth 1,000. These slender rectangles are called rods, and they are worth 10. These little teeny tiny squares, those are units. They're worth 1. And if we look over here, these are kind of hard to see. There's 3 of them. They're stacked. But these are flats, and they are worth 100. So when we're looking over here, the directions say to write each number in standard form. So standard form is just your standard number. So if we're looking at these, let's count how many cubes. And I've also taught my students that when they're counting, they should be crossing off while they go. That way they are able to easily visualize when they miss counting something. Versus, because sometimes, they just go way too fast. So looking at here, we have 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, because they're each worth 1,000. So we have 3,000. We have no flats, none. There's no 100s. So you have to have a 0 for that placeholder. We have 1, 2 10s. So the 2 goes here for the 2 10s. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 units. So your first one is 3,027. Okay. These get a little tricky when kids want to go way too fast, but I highly recommend reassuring your student to make sure that they are checking them off as they go. Because if you miss one, you can go back and like, oh, that's my mistake. I didn't count one. So it's just to make them slow down a little bit. I'm going to do one other one just because this one's easy to do and easy to get wrong. So I want to make sure and stress the value and the importance of placeholders. So again, these are cubes. All of these are cubes. So we have 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. So we're going to put that 5. When we say 1,000, we put our comma. Are there any flats? Again, flats look like this up here. No, there are no flats, which are worth 100. So there's 0 in our 100s place. Are there any rods? Again, rods are these slender rectangles, which are worth 10. And if you count them, there are 10 little units in each of those. The answer is no, there are no rods. So that you have to have a place value. Otherwise, you will have the wrong answer. Looking at our units, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 units. So your answer would be 5,005. So the rest, pretty self-explanatory. Again, if you get caught up, get confused, please comment below. I'm here for you. Let's take a look on the other side. This one is underlined digits. And it says, write the value of the underlined digit. And it gives pretty good examples up here. So that way you can see like this digit 4 is in the 100,000s. The digit 5 is in the 10,000s. Digit 6 is in the thousands. The digit 1 is in 100s. The digit 2 is in the tens. And the digit 3 is in the ones place. So depending on where the underline is, you're going to look at it. So in this example, the 6 is underlined, which is in the thousands place. So the 6 represents 6,000. So I'm going to do 2 on this one. On A, the 5 is underlined. So that's in the hundreds place. So the value for this is going to be 500. And I'm going to come over to, let's do O. And there's a 0. This is the thousands place, but it is the 0 digit. And so a 0 has a value of 0. It has nothing. But if you are going to write it out, since it's in the thousands place, you'd be correct by putting 4 zeros because it's 1,000. But at the end of the day, a 0 is a 0. So that is this day for homework. All right, on to this one. This one is a little, not too lengthy, but I'm not going to go through too much of it. It's pretty simple. This top one says write each one in standard form. So again, you're going to count what you have. These are flats. So 1, 2, 300. Are there any tens or any rods? Nope. So you have to have that placeholder. And then units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So your answer for that would be 8. And then let's look at an expanded form. Over here we have 200 plus 50 plus 1. So since there's no thousands, you're not going to start there. We'll start right here at 200. So you'll put 2 in the hundreds place. Are there any tens? Yes. There's 50. There's 5 tens. You put 5. Are there any units or ones? Yes, there's 1. So your answer for that one would be 251. Standard unit is just the number written out with its digits. This is a great way to explain it up here with your place value blocks. Expanded form, which is when you have everything and you add it to one another. Standard form, and of course word form. From 7 to 10, it says to write the word form for each number. Students should have their math notebooks which has a place. We have included a place in notes that have all the words. So for example, for 285, you would write 285. And that is correct for that. At the bottom, it says write a 3-digit number with a 2 in the hundreds place and the 4 in the tens place. So if you have 2 in the hundreds place, a 4 in the tens place, this could be anything from 240 to 249. Because right now that's a 2-digit number, so this is not correct because this would be tens and that would be ones by either adding a 0 or maybe a 1 or a 9. Okay, so anything from 240 to 249 would be correct in that instance. Flip it over for the last day of math homework for the week. And we're talking, it's basically the same exact thing. Okay, you're writing each number in standard form. Just count them out. Again, these are hundreds. 100, 200. If there are any tens, yep, there are the rods. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And there's 1 unit. Oops, I did not cross it off. So again, please, please, please have your students cross them off as they go because it's a great way to check your work and realize easy mistakes. Down here at 7 for write each number in expanded form. That's when you just take each digit and then you add them to each self. So 3 is in the 100 spot. So that is 300 plus, next digit is a 9, and that's in the tens place. So you're going to put plus 90. Again, we're going to add. And the 2 is in the ones place. So you're going to be at 2. So that is how you would write 392 in expanded form. Okay, algebra, find the missing value of the number. So of course you have 400 plus blank plus 2, and that seems super hard, especially people hear algebra. I'm like, oh my goodness, my child is not ready for that. But this is just a fancy way of saying expanded form because again, the 4's in the 100 spot. There is no tens, so we can put a T for tens. And then the 2 is in the 1 spot, so you are just going to be adding your tens. That 6 is in the tens place, so it represents 60. Right here, it says, why are 5 hundreds and 3 ones written as 503? And at the end of the day, the easiest answer for this is because 5 is in the hundreds place and 3 is in the ones place. There are no tens. So it's just place value knowledge. Your terminology, if your child does not know their place value vocabulary, this is going to be very difficult. And the last one says, what is the standard form of 640? If your child is struggling to read, please, please, please do your best to highly encourage your child to be able to learn their math vocabulary, because otherwise it's not going to work that way. So we're going to go ahead and come on to this side, and you are going to need to get yourself some crayons, and we'll go from there. All right, so this first one, you're going to have the child read the story. If your child struggles with reading, I beg of you, especially at 3rd grade, I beg you. Most of these are sight words, heart words. I beg of you to have your child try. And if you're realizing specific words are difficult for them, please reach out to your student's teacher to find out what type of activities you can do to help your child grow stronger in their heart words. Because without those, reading will always be a struggle. So reading this, it says, "Look at that pig. His name is Bob, and he is big. Bob is fat and pink. Bob likes to play in the mud. He likes to sit in the mud. Bob rolls in the mud. We need to get Bob in the tub." So again, this is fairly simple. So what is the pig's name? And I want you to do it in red, because that's teaching your students to always go back and reread the text to find their answers. So what is the pig's name? His name is Bob. So in red, your student needs to underline or circle, his name is Bob. You can't really see that. That's red on my video, but that is red. And with your pencil, this should be a complete sentence. If your child is writing Bob, that is not correct. Yes, his name is Bob, but we are in 3rd grade, and we should be able to write a complete sentence. So your child should be able to write, his name is Bob. Bob is a proper noun. It needs to be capitalized, and we have to have punctuation. Number 2, it says we're going to be using orange. So I have my orange crayon out. What does the pig like to do? There's a few answers. You could say he likes to play in the mud, he likes to sit in the mud, or he likes to roll in the mud. It is up to your student of which of these they would like to do. I'm going to say Bob likes to play in the mud, because that has the word like, so that makes sense to me. But again, either of those. So in my complete sentence, I'm going to write Bob likes to play in the mud. And I'm trying to make sure I have my proper punctuation. Number 3, why do they need to get Bob in the tub? And then you're going to do that one in yellow. So in my yellow crayon, I'm going to put under here, Bob rolls in the mud. And if students don't realize that, which is okay, because sometimes that's hard for students to really visualize, I'm just going to remind them, like, well, if you roll in the tub, what are we going to have to do? And hopefully they talk about, you want to get clean, a shower, something. So why do they need to get Bob in the tub? Bob rolls in the mud. What are 2 words that rhyme in the story? So you're going to look through here and be like, oh, which ones rhyme? And it says to do it in green. So with my green crayon, I'm going to go with pig and big. Again, make sure your student is annotating. And I'm going to use it as a whole sentence. The two words that rhyme are pig. And if you're like me and you ran out of space, just put it underneath pig and big, period. And then number 5 just says, what would be a good title for this story? And I love getting this one back from students because they have some really great ideas. However, I want to make sure that it's somehow relevant. If you tell me pig went shopping, I'm going to question that. That doesn't make sense based on the passage we read. So I personally would say, maybe dirty pig. Or maybe, if I didn't write that one, pig likes mud. Okay, so your student can get pretty creative with that and just go from what they create. So that is an example of how this should look like. Again, these need to be in complete sentences, and your student needs to be annotating their passage appropriately. So if it says red, it should be in red. So the following days for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday are all similar passages. If you have any questions, please reach out. Have a great night.